Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me for the Daily Dreamer. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here, okay? Because I had some crazy dreams. So I wake up and I come to, and I am in my living room, and as I stand there, I hear some noise going on the other side of my house. So I step on the other side of my house, and I happen to see a person there, a person I'm not even familiar with, but he is busy packing. He's packing up some things. So I approach him and I said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm packing." I said, why are you packing? He says, "I'm going on a road trip." I said, "Great, let's go." And he says, "Well, you got to do step through that door." And I look through this door that is in my house, and it looks like it's a portal. I look down, my cat is there, but there's two of him, which solidified that it was even more so of a dream. So I picked my cat up because that's really the only thing I wanted to take. And I stepped through this door. As I step through this door, there is a checkout person, a bagger, if you will, that is packing your items for you, checking you out. And then I happen to look over, and there's an entity that I instantly knew was his supervisor. So I wait for him to check my cat out, and I look and I see two huge planets in front of me. And he says, "Which planet are you going to choose?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Which planet are you going to choose? Planet A or planet B?" I said, "What's the difference?" And he said, "Well, my dear, if I know you like I think I do, which I know I do, you will want planet A." "What's the difference?" I say. And he says, "You'll like it there better." I said, "Okay." So I said, "Well, I guess I'm choosing planet A." And he said, "Okay, fair enough." And then I said, "But can I see what planet B is about?" And he said, "Sure." So he shows me a little bit of both. On planet A, there is no time. On planet A, things were going at such a high, fast rate. It was just as though it was pure utopia. Everything was perfect. Everything was beautiful. So much love, so much compassion, so much everything that was just perfect. And I look over at planet B and I see physical. Everything physical. There was no emotion. It was just all physical in nature. And time was very slow there. And I looked back at the supervisor and I said, "You were right. I definitely want planet A." And then for some reason or another, I kept saying to him at the very end when I was leaving, "It's like Tetris, isn't it? It's like Tetris, isn't it?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "The puzzle pieces, they all fit together." And he said, "It always did fit together." So I go and I choose planet A, and I'm whisked off, but I'm whisked off back to consciousness. So I don't know how planet A actually played out, but I'm sure it was just as great as what I was shown. So what on earth could that dream have meant? Let's go find out, shall we? So what on earth could that dream have meant? All right, two different planets, planet A, planet B. I got it. I almost knew instantly what it was. Those beings, those souls, who are wishing to have an even greater experience of separation from spirit, from their multidimensional selves, the divine creator, whatever, their consciousness, they're on planet B. They want a further separation from soul, from self. They want to experience the physical realm in such a way that the higher self doesn't even play a part. There was no room for the higher self because it was all physical. That's what that represented to me. It was a physical experience. And they got to choose that, as I got to choose the planet that I wanted to go to. But because of this, the souls are not, they weren't able to connect with each other, which was unfortunate. If you chose planet A, you were going to planet A, and those of, that you once knew, that chose planet B, and they're not wrong for choosing planet B. It's just that they wanted a further experience in the physical nature. So they chose that option. With planet A and planet B, you were kind of given an option of being able to interact. If you chose to interact with planet B, then as long as you were able to keep your vibration and your energies at a higher level, you could walk between the planets. However, because of the physical planet being so physical, they weren't able to interact with both planets. They had to choose. And so if they chose a further physical experience to go with, then they were, how should I say, they were shut off, if you will. Those who decided to experience what they called Planet A, or Ascension, could meet with these souls because they knew that energetic gap and what it was about. They were able to see through the illusion. They were able to hang out with both vibrations because they knew where they needed to be to continue to move forward on Planet A. So those who exist either on of these two planets, they've been altered. They have been altered so that they can exist physically on both new planets. And those who chose to go towards a higher level of consciousness that will be on Planet A, they found that their genetic structure was altered. It was altered to a higher frequency that would allow for a greater amount of those 12 strands of genetic material to be used and opened. And that's why they were able to interact with the planets. It was part of the genetic shift that the bagger was checking out at the time. They were messing with your 12 strands, if you will. But those that chose Planet B not to raise their vibrations, they actually shut down part of their genetic code. It was needed because it needed to be more denser, if you will. Maybe a shutting down, a dumbing down, if you will. It had to happen for them to experience the physical realm. So, where did Planet A go after this ascension, if you will? The answer is absolutely nowhere. The planet is still here. There are two planets here. Planet A did not need to go anywhere to establish itself. It just simply created its own space because it was resonating at a higher frequency. Just like when you turn on your TV or your radio and you hear these waves going on. You've got your gamma waves, your television rays, your radio waves, your vibrations, your different frequencies. They are all in the same room with you. You just don't see them, right? Well, that is simply what is happening. They're going to occupy, in a manner of speaking, the same space, but it's not going to be at a physical level. Planet A was going to lift itself beyond the physical, creating a new form of reality at a higher frequency. Planet B created a new form of a denser physicality at a different vibration or frequency. And so no longer do they intersect anymore to a degree. The frequencies and vibrations, they are so different that they no longer have to interact with each other, in a manner of speaking. But due to the frequencies and the vibrations of the consciousnesses, in the fact that they're changing, that was once known or held is no longer being known or held by Planet B. They simply just will end up forgetting. It's like a forgetful process, if you will. So what if you choose to go to Planet A? What do you need to do to get to Planet A? Well, folks, I'll tell you. Right now, there are times that are full of challenges and unexpected results, both physical in positive nature and in negative nature. And it has to be understood that what is being presented for you, both positive and negative, is for your own journey, for your own growth, for your own healing. If you are able to see the world around you in a different light, understanding it for what it is, and that it is an experience that you chose to have. All individuals and experiences, you have to remember, are a reflection of you yourself. So everything is an experience here in your life as a reflection of yourself. If you are able to understand that, then you can better understand the world itself for what it is. And therefore, that alone will take you to a high vibration. But say you don't. Say you just choose to just go through life and day to day and deal with things, and you just, aren't sitting with yourself, aren't turning inwards to find that higher vibration. Then you've chosen Planet B. Welcome to your planet. The world is going to be one that's better served if you come to an understanding of yourself on an inner level, but especially in relations to the world outside in general, because there are other people that you have to interact with. And if you have a better understanding of yourself here, then you can better interact out there. But those who do not awaken to that possibility, who succumb to the rhetoric that is made available to them over the airways or through the media, they will perhaps experience, instead of the ascension planet, the descending planet of consciousness, the dumbing down. They will have the opportunity, though, in the future to be able to still choose to go to planet A, the ascension planet, but it will become quite a bit more difficult because the gap in the energies is going to be a pretty good substantial gap. So, you can still choose it, but you're going to have to play catch up, for those procrastinators out there. Planet B ultimately represents the next level of evolution in the physical experiment, if you will, in separating itself from spirit source, from the divine source. And it will be seen further on in this experience of those who are wanting to trap themselves in the physical illusion, if you will. Pretty soon you won't even have a religion to fall back on because you're choosing to further distance yourself. You've chosen the physical experience. You're not wrong, just saying. The energies are going to be different. They're going to be a little bit further on. So you're not going to be able to have a sense that there's any other spiritual dimension available to them. So what is known as heaven or nirvana, that just won't even be understood as a possibility for you. So if you choose to immerse yourself in the physical material reality of that path that you're choosing, you're just not going to be able to recognize anything that's spiritual. And this is why the evolutionary experience of the separation of the divine from the creator, from all that is such that those who need this profound isolation experience for some reason will indeed have it. They will get to walk that path. So good luck to you. Let me know how that turns out. It's a simple understanding of the magnetic energy on planet B. It's going to be so strong that it's going to capture in its field all of those who still need to have the physical experience, especially for those people that just love the insane need to have physical material items. I don't understand that, but you know what? It's their experience, and they're not wrong for it. Those who do not need this, those that don't care about the physical realm, well, they're already beginning to understand their higher spiritual selves, and they're taking the steps to reach their multidimensionality. They will instead move on in directions that are going to be towards purity, the ascended level of consciousness. But there are those that are going to choose to remain a part of planet A and planet B. Those that like to wander in between planets. You can do so. That is an option. It's a blending of both the physical reality and the spiritual form. But you're definitely going to have stronger connection, higher vibrations to do so. Because the energies are so different, because there's such a gap, it's going to require you to be a little bit more stronger in being able to interact between the two planets, okay? But that is always an option. You'll be able to consciously go back into physical form or spirit form, if you will. They will also be able to manipulate material form in whatever manner that they want, for they will become masters of manifestations of physicality. They will blend the harmonious energies of all that occupy that stage. That level of conscious manifestation that will be planet A is going to be a very sacred space. Whatever you imagine, will be, for you are imagining it. There is an awareness of being able to create that which is imagined and experience that which is imagined. The great thing about being on planet A is that we have a better understanding that our imagination are our creations. So whatever it is that we can imagine, we know will be. because we're imagining it. We understand our magic wand. There is an awareness of being able to create that which is imagined and experience that which is imagined. This is in great opposition to what occurs on planet B, the physical planet, where one imagines but doesn't truly believe that what they imagine will necessarily be created or occur, especially if it goes against all of the boundaries of your beliefs that are contained within the physical structure of your belief patterns. That is why it's so important for you guys to start shedding your old beliefs. Thus, it is that while one may believe that there is a utopia, a perfect world, if you will, when one is living in the ghetto or one is living in a desperate situation, imagining such a perfect place, such a paradise, it won't actually occur in the physical realm because they don't ever believe that it will. In fact, they hardly even imagine it because they've already convinced themselves, right? There is a perfect utopia somewhere. You just have to imagine it. If you understood your magic wand, your thoughts, then you imagine, you know that you can create that reality. If one believes that the imagination is worthless to some degree, well, that it is only a product of the mind, and that there is no strength or power to it, then one cannot simply allow the reality to be shifted so that they do begin to experience this perfect world. Because there is a deeper belief that it is only something to be imagined. To imagine something is the same as creating it. Working your way to a new planet of utopia is to understand and recognize that imagining something is the same as creating it. The two are one and the same. To imagine is to create. It is to experience. That is the major difference between planet A and planet B. One is free of all those collective belief systems, those physical belief systems that define one's existence on the physical planet B of reality, of physicality. But in order for you to experience it, it requires that you have to shift your level of understanding. One that doesn't allow for any doubt, one that doesn't allow for worry. It is one that you allow yourself to understand that if you are able to imagine it, then you can create it. Remember your magic wand? We talked about that before. Your magic wand are your thoughts. You can create your own reality if you shed your old beliefs. So folks, which planet did you choose? Is it planet A? Is it planet B? If you so choose to be a part of planet A, you don't have to do anything at all. You don't even need to pack your bags. Just pack up your old beliefs. Get rid of them. Throw them out. If something isn't working for you like you always thought it would, it's time to get rid of it. It may be because you're still holding on to your old ways. That's why you can't reach planet A, folks. You're not throwing away the old thought patterns. You're still in the same rut. You're still in the same thoughts. You're still in the same cycle. Not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's going to get a little bit more difficult for you to ever reach your happy place if you keep continuing to keep your old beliefs. If you are choosing to ascend, understand that your thoughts are your reality, then folks, take 5 minutes and sit with yourself. The only thing you need to do is bring yourself, your understanding, and your inner being. Raise your vibrations today, even if it's only 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, just think better thoughts, because that's going to bring you closer to a better planet. Folks, until next dream, thanks so much for joining me for the Daily Dreamer. Many blessings to you.